Okay, good morning. Thank you for joining VirtualPBX-admin training. The page you should be seeing up on your on YouTube should be dash.virtualpbx.com, which is just the login page. If you're on virtualpbx.com's website, you just mouse over support, and then under dash support, you'll see a dash login. To log in, you just use your email address. Oops, looks like I messed that up, so let me redo this here. Please bear with me as I work on this and get this recreated. Okay, not sure why that didn't work. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Apparently I cannot type today. So your password is obviously your password. Your account name is going to be your company name. And then you probably want to hit remember me. And if you ever forget, you've got your forgot password or forgot info link over on the right. And then we'll get logged in. And here you'll see we're in our dashboard. Now, if it's your first time logging in ever, it's going to take you through the Dash Wizard, which gives you an overview of some of the features. And once you close out of that, this is what you'll see. So users, these are your users on the account. Just keep in mind that most Dash plans are based off of number of users you have, meaning the more users you have, the higher your bill is going to be. Down below that, you have your devices, and then the breakdown of the types of devices. And unregistered means a VoIP phone that is not connected. Basically, as far as our system is concerned, it's not active, whether that's because it doesn't have power, it's not connected to a network, or there's something else going on. We don't know. Just the system says, hey, it's not connected. We can't send a call to it. Over to the top right, you've got your main numbers. So these are the main numbers that your customers call to get a hold of you. So these numbers will have the same main greeting and will route the same way. Down below that, you've got the main fax box number, basically, so you can accept inbound faxes. You can also have here a section for your conference number if you're making use of the conference bridge. Then you have the total number breakdown. So an assigned number, that's a number that's going someplace, right? So it goes directly to a user. It's a main number. It can go directly to a ring group or to an ACD queue, for example. A spare number is a number on your account. However, you're not using it, meaning it doesn't ring to anything. Basically, will ring busy. Keep in mind that most Dash accounts include anywhere from 1 to 3 phone numbers as part of the plan. If you're over that, even if it's a spare number, you are still being charged for that number, and that typically is $4.99 per month per number. Down below, then, we have a further breakdown between, in this case, U.S. local number, DID, or U.S. toll-free numbers. And if you had international numbers, you would have another section for that. If you're looking to add international numbers, you're going to want to email porting@virtualpbx.com and list the city and country that you want phone number or phone numbers in. They will let you know if there are further requirements, like Germany, for example, requires proof of presence, like a phone bill or something like that, utility bill. Some of them are much more strict than that. They want much more documentation, and others just don't care. They say, here's a number. So it's going to vary. Now, below the phone numbers, we've got the company directory. You notice that it says company directory users 11, but my total users is 21. That means as an admin, I only set 11 of my users show up in the company directory, and I can change that at any time. And you can download the directory. The account ID, that is technically your account number. Now, typically, if you call in to support or to billing or sales, what have you, we're not going to ask you for that account ID number because it's kind of long and complicated. We'll typically ask you for your company name and look you up that way. The account realm, you use that for a couple different things. One is to program a third-party VoIP device. So say like a soft phone from Counterpath or a VoIP phone that doesn't show up in our auto-provisional list. You'll also use that if you use the email to fax. So to send faxes out, you send an email. You use +1 area code and phone number. That's the fax number you're sending it to. Then you have the @ symbol, and then you have your account realm. And then you attach a PDF or a TIFF. And then down below that, we have the store discount code. So it's just for being a Dash customer, you get a discount on anything in our web store. And you can click on that link up there at the top to get to it at any time. All right. Up at the top here is the main company caller ID, or the default company caller ID. You do want this set. Choose any of your main numbers. Down below that, you've got the company caller ID name or CNAME. This is restricted to 15 characters. That includes spaces and special characters. This is an industry standard. Once you click on Save Changes at the bottom, this information is transmitted to the other carriers in North America who support CNAME, and then they will update their servers. Now, that process takes roughly 3 business days. Can take a little bit longer. A couple things to keep in mind. Not every carrier that calls route through North America supports CNAME. That's unfortunate. It's not something we can control. What that means, however, that if a call routes through one of those carriers, the CNAME information will obviously not get through to your destination. And sometimes there's not a lot we can do about that. It just depends on the route of the call. I.e., if the carrier for the last mile, right, getting to the destination phone doesn't support CNAME, there's nothing we can do in that instance. Even for the carriers who do support CNAME, it's their last priority, right? Their first priority is to connect the call. Second priority is get the caller ID number. And then the caller ID name is the last priority. This means that if they have heavier than expected call volume, that is the first thing they drop because they want to make sure calls can still get through. And obviously, if they have some sort of maintenance issue or heaven forbid outage, they'll be lucky for your call to get through at all. And last and relatively minor for CNAME is if the device that you're calling has already programmed your phone number with its own label, right, the device labeling will supersede anything we send to the phone. All right, further down, we've got the company emergency or E911 address. This is for VoIP phones. When they pick up, if someone picks up a VoIP phone, dials 911, this is the default address that gets sent to emergency services. So first, you want to make sure this is the correct address. Now, if you have remote employees, right, there are different locations, you can set the E911 up by device, so that way the particular device will have the correct address. And then you would click on Save Changes to save all your changes. Now, if you're a new sign-up, you will have a message in either red or gold saying, "Hey, select the main number or set your caller ID," as well as your E911. Hold music. This is the default hold music on the account. Now, hold music on Dash, how it works is calls come in, they get to a user in some fashion. When that user presses hold on their VoIP phone, this is the default music that plays. Dash accepts .wav, that's WAV, and .mp3 files up to 1 megabyte in size. For reference, a 1 megabit file is roughly 5 minutes long. The main thing to remember about uploading files to Dash is that they need to be recorded in mono, not in stereo. Right? So when you listen to something on the phone, right, you're calling over the phone, right, you have one speaker. So it's a mono device. When you have a stereo file playing over a phone, you're going to hear a lot of static. You might even hear silence, just because depending on the device in question. So record in mono. But then you would upload and then click on Save Changes. And then we'll get to hours. Now, hours is a part of your incoming call handling or your main number section. So by default, all new accounts come up as 24-hour open office, meaning, hey, your system's ready to take calls. Now, you still have some setup to do, but basically meaning, hey, once you have everything set, your system will be taking calls right away. Now, you can change it to custom office hours. So for each day of the week, you put a check that you're open, you put a check mark in, and then you set your open hours in 24-hour or military time. The advantage here, for those of us who are not used to military time, it's a pull down, so you can select the right time. And then you click on Save Changes. Office holidays, you can set your office holidays in advance. First thing is, if you're closed, you put a check mark up here saying, hey, I'm closed for holidays. And then over here to the right, add holiday to add a new holiday. Now you've got the choice of a single day holiday, a date range, or advanced. Single day, pretty self-explanatory. You just give it a label, you give it the date that you want to be closed. Now keep in mind that you don't, for like a holiday that changes dates, so like President's Day on the screen, you don't want to change it to the next year right away. You want to wait a couple days and then you'll want to update it. Otherwise, you might make yourself closed for 2 days in a row. Whereas something like 4th of July in the United States, you can just leave it because you're probably always going to be closed on 4th of July. All right, date range, like down here for Christmas, we have December 22nd to the 26th. You notice that there's no year inclination here for any of these. So, especially for that Christmas to New Year range, you do not want to have a date range that includes New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Right? So what we would advise is like basically do a date range up through New Year's Eve and do a separate date range from New Year's Day on, or just do those 2 days individually, etc. Otherwise, you'll be put in closed mode all year. And then advanced is basically you pick a particular day of the month, right? So the second Monday of March, you're closed, like office retreat, that sort of thing. And then you'll click on Save Changes. Now it looks like no one has shown up today. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream.